All right, everybody, we are back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. We are back for week number 2 of the show. I am out here in beautiful North Platte, Nebraska. So this week, we will not have a guest this week. So what I've decided to do is over the next 2 weeks while I'm out in North Platte, we are going to look at some top 30 lists. So tonight we are going to look at the NFL quarterbacks top 30 list that was released by Chris Sims of NBC earlier last week. So what we're going to do tonight is going to start at number 40. We'll work our way down. We'll talk about each quarterback, see if we would agree on it, move them up, move them down, or if I would agree on it, since I'm here on the radio right now talking about it. And then at the end, I'll rate my top 10 and see how that compares to Chris Sims. And then when I get back to Lincoln here in a couple of weeks, we'll get our guests back in studio and we'll cover some more of the Wide World of Raff. 93.7 The Ticket. So, all right, we'll just get started right now. First quarterback that was on Chris Sims' list at number 40 was the Atlanta quarterback Desmond Ridder. So Desmond Ridder, he was a rookie last year. It pretty much looks like this year he will be anointed the new quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't see anybody else in the top 40. I could be missing one, but it looks like he is going to start off the season as QB1, unless I'm missing somebody. Let me look real quick. I feel like, okay. Yeah, so actually Taylor Heineke, the old Redskins quarterback, will also be in Atlanta. So there might be a bit of a quarterback competition there. I think there will be, because I think Taylor Heineke is a pretty quality quarterback. But right now, they have Desmond Ridder at 40. I probably would agree with that. You maybe could range them up to the maybe 35 to 40 range. But 40 hasn't really played all that much, so 40 is where Chris Sims has him. Number 39 is Sam Howell, the Washington Redskins quarterback. He's gone into his second year also. Did not play that much, but it seems like Ron Rivera came to the conclusion there at the end of the year that Sam Howell is going to be his quarterback. I think this is a very interesting quarterback. We didn't see much of him, but I think he's got plenty of arm talent that he can succeed in the NFL. It's just a matter, hopefully, with the new ownership of the Commanders. I might have called them the Redskins earlier. Sorry about that. I'm still locked in my old ways, but I think there's possibility there. They've got some players around him. If he doesn't go outside of himself and just, stays within the realm, I think he has a chance where he can be, a decent starting quarterback in the NFL. But then also could go the other way, could be too much for him. And then the Redskins will be the Commanders will be looking for a quarterback again next year. All right, we're going to move up to number 38. 38, we've got Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama, Carolina Panthers. A lot is on his shoulders. He's been anointed the starting quarterback for Carolina. I personally think he's going to be a great quarterback. I think he is going to follow on the line of Jalen Hurts. Will it take maybe a year and a half to get his feet underneath him? Possibly, but I think if there's one quarterback out there that's got the wherewithal, the smarts, I saw him play down in Tuscaloosa last year. I was impressed. He was my number one selection all the way. I never had any doubt in my mind after watching him play that he could be a successful NFL quarterback. Probably does not run as much as Jalen Hurts, but I think reading defenses, he might be coming out stronger in that at that than what and I lost my train of thought. I do that a lot during these shows when I'm thinking too much. It happens a lot, but I think he reads defenses a lot better than Jalen Hurts did when he was coming out of college. So I think the sky is up for Bryce Young, Carolina. I think they have a great young quarterback. Hopefully they don't ask too much out of him too early, but I think that he'll be really good here in maybe a year or two in the NFL. All right, so number 37, we have C.J. Stroud, the rookie out of Ohio State. with Houston. I'm going to say this. I think he's a really good throwing quarterback. I think he has the possibility of being really good, paired up with D'Amico Ryans. Being and playing in the NFL, I think that's a huge advantage for D'Amico Ryans with the young quarterback, where he knows, maybe what to saddle him with and what not to saddle him with. Houston's just looking for something right now. They've struggled the last couple of years, ever since dealing with the Deshaun Watson stuff. So I think that CJ Stroud's in a great place. He's got a great coach, great young coach, and I think that that's going to be just very positive for them. And then once again, these young quarterbacks, it's going to take a year and a half to get their feet underneath them. But I think Houston did right by choosing CJ Stroud. All right. Now, this is kind of surprising to me. At number 36, they have Anthony Richardson, the rookie at Indianapolis from Florida. I personally would have Anthony Richardson down at the 38th spot. I'd have Bryce. It'd be Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson for me. I just don't know with Anthony Richardson. I feel like people are just looking at his intangibles and his arm strength, and not really much. Like, you got to look at a little bit at the completion percentage. I know he's a freak. He puts up all the measurables possible, but I lean more to Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I think Anthony Richardson is going to probably struggle the most out of all of them. But like I said, young quarterback, it's just a matter of how the teams look to how they look to them to see how they want to, if they're going to give them too much too early, or are they going to give them a chance to settle in. The running game at Indianapolis will be huge. They've got to lean on that running game. More play action passes, the better for Anthony Richardson. I think if you sit him back there throwing the ball 40 times a game, it's probably not going to be good for Indianapolis this year. But like, I go back to the young quarterbacks, they're going to need a year and a half. But I always think that playing them is the right thing. Get them in there, let them feel the fire right away. It works for some quarterbacks like the Patrick Mahomeses to sit them on the sidelines for a year. But Kansas City was in a spot where they had Alex Smith and they were able to do that. In any other situation, I think that Patrick Mahomes would have probably played his first year. But with Kansas City and the situation they were in, they were looking long-term. And that's where Anthony Richardson's not at. They've got to get him probably in at quarterback, because I think the other quarterback at Indianapolis this year is Gardner Minshew, which I might actually, thinking about it, I think Gardner Minshew will be the starting quarterback. And I think the more time you can have, I just said, get him in the fire. But I just think that Anthony Richardson, the more time that he can learn from a veteran, I think that'll be huge for his development. All right. Number 35, quarterback from the Miami Dolphins, not Tua, Mike White, the former Jets quarterback. Now, Mike White, this could be the most interesting number 2 quarterback in the NFL right now, because nobody really knows what is going to go down with Tua. Are the head injuries going to continue? Has his karate classes, have they helped him to when he gets tackled? I'm not sure how this is all going to play out. I still think that if Tom Brady doesn't sign the ownership papers, I think Tom Brady could still end up in Miami. I know it's crazy, probably more far-fetched, probably more Raiders, but Tua is the biggest question mark in the NFL right now. You just do not know. And Mike White is sitting there number 2, and you got to think that he'll be ready to go if need be. So, all right, let's go down to number 34. We just spoke about him, Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew, he's had his bright spots. He was with the Eagles last year, great teammate, works hard, wants to be a successful NFL quarterback. This could be one of those things that maybe Gardner takes the reins, has a great season, it catapults him into another team next year, or maybe Indianapolis says, hey, we're going to stick with you another year. I know that they really want to get Anthony Richardson in there, but this is definitely an opportunity for Gardner Minshew just to show that he's still out there and has an opportunity to maybe move on to another team next year. So that'll be interesting to watch how long they'll ride with Gardner Minshew before they make the switch to Anthony Richardson. All right. Now we're on to number 33. We spoke about him earlier with Atlanta. Tyler Heineke played for the Commanders, had some success. He was buying new pairs of Jordans there like every week because he was beating the Packers and he was beating the teams. As you know, every team he beats, he goes out and buys the colors of the team he beats shoes. So we'll see how that plays out. I think right now Atlanta wants Desmond Ridder to be their quarterback, but Taylor Heineke is one of those guys. He's like that thorn that you just cannot get rid of. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I'm going to think it's going to be Ridder, and Heineke will be backing up. All right, number 32. Now this is an interesting one for me. I'm surprised he was 32, but we got the Denver Broncos second-team quarterback Jarrett Stidham. So I know that Coach Sean Payton is high on Jarrett Stidham. He came in for the Raiders last year at the end of the year, put up a couple of decent games. He played. He had some success. Now the question is how locked in is Sean Payton with Russell Wilson? Is he going to, if Russell Wilson comes out and struggles this season at the beginning of the year, how long does he let Russell Wilson play before he makes that switch to Jarrett Stidham? I think the possibility is out there that could be something that'll happen. I think the Bronco fans will not give Sean Payton much leeway in this situation. If Russell Wilson comes out and struggles like last year, I fully expect that Jarrett Stidham will take the reins at quarterback for the Broncos. Will he stay there? I'm not sure, but I think that Sean Payton, coming from that Bill Parcells legacy of head coaches and assistant coaches, he is not afraid to make a quarterback change. So Jarrett Stidham is an interesting one out there, and we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully all goes well. Russell plays well. Being a Bronco fan, you got to hope for that. But he's there, so we'll see. It's going to be an interesting football season quarterback-wise, and I'm interested to see how it all plays out. All right, so now we're going to move on to number 31, brand new Green Bay Packers quarterback, Jordan Love. All right, Packers fans, I don't know what to tell you here. I don't know how this is all going to turn out for you. I know that they have all the confidence in the world in Jordan Love that he's going to step in for Aaron Rodgers, but you're not just stepping in for Aaron Rodgers. You're stepping in for Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. The lineage of quarterbacks that they've had over the last 60 years, it's pretty incredible. You can even look back in the 80s and Lynn Dickey. They've had quarterbacks, maybe the Magic Man for 1 year before Favre. They've had their quarterbacks. Jordan Love's just going to have to come in, let team know he's a leader, stay within himself, not get outside, not force passes. Easier said than done, but that's going to be very intriguing to watch Lambeau Field this year and see how Jordan Love steps up as a starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Packers fans will have his back 100%, and we'll see how it all goes. You would have liked to have seen the Packers get some more receivers in the draft, but hey, we've been saying that for the last 20 years. They just have something against not getting explosive receivers in the draft, but we'll see how it works out for them. Wish them all the best, but we'll see. All right, number 30, we've got Houston quarterback Davis Mills. So Davis Mills is another player. He's been around the last couple of years. He's played for the Texans. He's had a little bit of success, but right now you've got to think that the Texans are 100% locked in. CJ Stroud is their quarterback, and he's going to be there for a while. You got to believe D'Amico Ryans is going to get CJ Stroud in there as soon as possible. But Davis Mills is a great backup quarterback. I think he'll be a great backup quarterback for the Texans, and he'll be able to help out with the learning curve of CJ Stroud. But right now, I see Davis Mills as the backup, and if he is there, something probably went wrong, and they're going to be looking for a quarterback very soon, because I just don't see Davis Mills being that franchise quarterback that the Texans had thought maybe they might have ventured into a couple years back. All right, so now we're going to go to number 29, and number 29 is a Pro Bowl quarterback from the Ravens, Tyler Huntley. You thought I was going to say Lamar Jackson, didn't I? But remember, Tyler Huntley got elected into the Pro Bowl last year. I know he was a couple alternates down, but you've got a Pro Bowl backup quarterback, and that's what The Ravens want him to be a backup quarterback. If Tyler Huntley is playing football or a lot of football this year, once again, you go back to something probably went wrong or Lamar got hurt, and that is not what the Ravens want. They want a good backup. That's what Tyler Huntley will be for the Ravens this year, but they want him on the bench. As productive as he was last year, they want him on the bench. If he's on the bench, the Ravens have had a successful year. If he's playing, something went wrong. So that's where I sit there. But if something does happen to Lamar where he's out for a week or two, you've got a great backup there, but they want him on the bench all this year. All right, now we're going to go to number 28. And this is another one, Carolina quarterback, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is there to be a backup quarterback and to show Bryce Young the ins and outs of the NFL. Maybe he'll get a couple starts early in the year, but this is Bryce Young's team, and he is there strictly to help Bryce Young. The more Andy Dalton, that means something went wrong with Bryce or he got injured, but the Carolina Panthers are Bryce Young's team, and anything other than that, I just don't see anything positive happening if Andy Dalton's a quarterback in Carolina. But as a backup, he can be super. He can help out the young quarterback, and I think that's something that Dalton will do. He's that kind of teammate. He's always been that kind of teammate. So we'll see how that all plays out in Carolina. All right, so now we're going to move up. Things start to get a little bit interesting now. 27, we've got quarterback Sam Darnold from the San Francisco 49ers. You heard me right, the San Francisco 49ers. I just don't know with Sam Darnold. Beginning of last year, he had to put up a couple games. You thought maybe he might be that quarterback for Carolina, but then kind of fizzled out. He got injured, came back at the end of the year. I don't know. I think I see backup for Sam Darnold. I don't see him being a starting quarterback in the league. But 49ers are a well-coached team. If anybody can get stuff out of their quarterback, it is Kyle Shanahan. He is definitely his father's son. Mike Shanahan was always great at getting stuff out of their quarterbacks, and I see Kyle Shanahan the same way. If they have to play Sam Darnold, it seems like right now they want to ride with Brock Purdy, so we'll see how it all goes. And then another name that was not on this list, and I'll throw it out there now, I won't wait, but I did not see Trey Lance on this top 40 list. And that surprises me because you got to believe as much as the 49ers gave up for Trey Lance that they would try maybe. I know they want Brock Purdy to be their quarterback, but you got to feel they want to get something out of him, anything, because you traded a lot of picks to get this young man. So we'll see I'd say a make or break year for Trey Lance this year. So we'll see what happens. All right. So now we're going to go up to number 26. 26 is boom, Brock Purdy. Well, what did he say about Brock Purdy? Is the shoulder going to be repaired? That is the thing right now. His pool of playing is not that vast. What has he got? Like 6, 7, 8 games at most. He was very productive. He played well. I mean, showed so much guts in that championship game coming out there. Could not even throw a ball more than 5 yards, but was still trying to get out there and help his team win. Jury's out in my book. He's shown greatness. Can he keep that up, or will the NFL see him and solve him? That's another thing that happens with these young quarterbacks. First time around, they have their games, and then all of a sudden the defenses see some film, and then will change. But I think he's got that type of swagger, and he's that type of player that if he can get his arm strength back and throw the ball accurately, I think he can be good for the 49ers. And Kyle Shanahan, like I said before, he's a quarterback whisperer. He's really good at coaching quarterbacks, and he's in a great position. So we'll see how the injury develops with Brock Purdy here in the off season, in the training camp, and hopefully beginning of the year you'll see Brock Purdy underneath center for the 49ers. All right, so now we are going to number 25, AD's team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett. I'll tell you what, he showed me a lot of, I guess you'd say swagger. He showed a lot of leadership. He showed a lot to me last year for Pittsburgh. I know he had some interceptions, but a lot of those weren't, I mean, I know every interception has a story, but there were a lot of interceptions that were tips. that weren't all his fault. I know some were his fault, but I think Steelers got themselves a quarterback, and I look forward to seeing him develop with the weapons that he has around him. Lean on Najee Harris. You're a young quarterback. Najee Harris is the guy you lean on. So we'll see how it plays out. Number 24, we've got Baker Mayfield, new Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback. Baker, this is it. Put up or shut up. He showed some signs with the Rams last year. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out for Tampa Bay. He's got weapons around him. He's got those receivers around him. Now it's just a matter. He just got to not get outside himself and play some good football, and we'll see how that works out. 23, I think kind of low on the chart. Justin Fields, the Bears. Justin Fields, to me, I think he has a chance to make strides like I keep on forgetting his name. Jalen Hurts did for the Eagles. I think Justin Fields has an opportunity to be a really, really good quarterback in this league. And hopefully the Bears don't ruin him, because we all know the Bears and their quarterbacks. There's been problems through the years. 22, Jimmy G, Las Vegas, injury. Is he going to come back from injury? Will this be what causes Tom Brady to return to the Raiders or to go to the Raiders? Will Jimmy G be able to recover from injury? And that's something, stay tuned. We'll see what happens there. 21, Tua Tagovailoa. I don't say that all that well, but once again, hits. Is it going to ruin his career? Is he going to be able to bounce back? Can he absorb those hits? If he does do that, he's got the weapons. Miami is loaded, and we'll see, how that all works out, and we'll go from there. But Tua's got it all there. And then at number 20, we got Mac Jones of the Patriots. Mac Jones, stay within yourself. Hopefully the Patriots get an offensive coordinator. That's the key. So we'll see how that all works out for Mac Jones and if he'll be the quarterback of the future for the Patriots. All right, so right now we're going to throw it to break. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. When we come back, we're going to cover the top 20 quarterbacks and the Chris Sims list of quarterbacks that he released. So we'll be right back. This is 93.7 The Ticket. All right, everybody, we're back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday night. I almost said the drive, but remember the drive is on from 8 to 10, Monday through Friday. You definitely want to catch us. We have a great time every morning, a lot of great guests, just a great way to start your morning. So join us on the drive, 93.7 The Ticket. But right now you're on the Wide World of Raff, and we're covering NFL quarterbacks, and we are moving into the top 20, actually the top 19. Mac Jones was 20. So, all right, number 19, we've got Kyler Murray, the Cardinals. Kyler Murray. I don't know here. I really don't. I thought a couple years back Kyler Murray's star was rising, but right now I do not know. I think that this is a make or break year for him. He lost his receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know. This is a tough question. You've got a new coach who, by all accounts, is 100% in support of Kyler Murray. But is Kyler Murray going to have weapons? That's what we just do not know right now. And this is going to be an interesting story because the Cardinals have paid Kyler Murray a king's ransom to be their quarterback. So we'll see if Kyler Murray is their quarterback, or hopefully he can stay healthy. He battled injuries last year. So we'll see how that works out for the Cardinals. If not, it'll be a long year for the Cardinals. All right. Now we're going to move to number 18, and we've got New Orleans Saints quarterback Derek Carr, the former Raider leader, is in New Orleans. Can he be Drew Brees part 2? That's basically what I'm looking at right now is, can he be the quarterback that Drew Brees was to the Saints back in the early 2000s? Can he come in, take the reins, lead the Saints back to the promised land? Will Michael Thomas be healthy? If Michael Thomas is healthy, that's a game changer. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out for Derek Carr. We know he's got amazing leadership intangibles. He can throw the ball. He's put up great statistical years, and he's going to have a huge chip on his shoulder because the way he was released from Oakland. The way he was released from Las Vegas is not the way any quarterback wants to go out. So I think he'll have a chip on his shoulder. It'll be interesting to see how he plays in the Saints offense this year. All right, so now we move up to number 17, Mr. Nick Saintert's Detroit Lions, Jared Goff. 17, I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, he had a good year last year, but 17 seems kind of high for Jared Goff. But once again, he's got players around him. I believe he's got Jahmyr Gibbs coming in from the line or from Alabama. He's got Amon-Ra, and we'll see. The Lions are that team that they're well coached. You stay within yourself in the offense, you have a chance to be successful because they're a hard-nosed team. And Jared Goff seemed to be that quarterback last year for them, and hopefully he'll just keep on rolling and he'll move up on this list. Number 16, another quarterback that I just don't know, Ryan Tannehill from Tennessee, 16. This is a make-or-break year for him also. I just think Tennessee's finding any possible way to move on from him, but he just keeps on. He's got the contract, but he's got to have a big year early, because I think if he does not have a big year early, you will see the second team quarterback in very quick. I just feel like I've got this feeling, especially when they let AJ Brown go, that they're ready to move on from Ryan Tannehill. So this will be his final shot to prove the naysayers wrong there in Tennessee. All right, so we move up to number 15. We've got the Cinderella of last year from Seattle, Geno Smith, locked in, a big contract in the offseason. You've got Metcalf, you've got Lockett, you've got players around her. It'll be cool to see if he continues on with that Cinderella type season that he had last year. I think he can. He's just got that. He's just got an amazing head on his shoulders, and he just knows how to run that Seattle offense. So I think he can keep it going, and that's what I'll look forward to. If not, then maybe Seattle's a team that's looking for a quarterback next year. It just seems like in today's NFL, you don't get 3 or 4 years. If you have a down year, they're looking for your replacement. It's sad that it's like that, but that's the NFL, and you know what that all stands for? Not for long. So, all right. So now we're going to move up to number 14. And all I can say with number 14 is, let's ride. Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited. Well, I don't know how this is going to play out this year. I hope and I pray that he comes in ready. And like left tackle Garrett Bowles said, he hopes the rest of the NFL eats crow, and Russell Wilson can prove that he's still one of those quarterbacks that's in the top echelon in the league. Last year was hugely disappointing. A lot on him, a lot on the offensive line, a lot on the injuries, excuses. I know, but this is the year, it's make or break from. And like we talked about earlier, if he does not come out and perform, I would not be surprised to see Jarrett Stidham in games early and often to replace him, because Sean Payton is that coach. He is the Bill Parcells prototype. You saw Tony Romo was in early for the Cowboys back in his early years. So we'll see how it all plays out. We hope that we'll be saying let's ride an awful lot, especially on the drive this year, because I know the listeners love when I say let's ride. All right, so now we'll move up to number 13. Pete Ferguson's Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. I think 13 is the right spot for Dak. I think he has the possibility to move up. He has the possibility to move down. The offense around him is potent. You got CeeDee Lamb. You've got Tony Pollard. Hopefully they can come back from injury. But I like where the Cowboys set offensively. It's just a matter now, can Dak Prescott pull the strings? If he does, he has a chance he'll be top 10 quarterback next year. However, if he doesn't, Cowboys fans, and they get impatient. So we'll see how it all works out for Dak Prescott. Number 12, we've got Kirk Cousins at number 12. I don't know. Kirk Cousins, just strikes me as that guy that's going to have 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 4,000 yards passing. Jefferson's going to have a big year, and they're going to be an average team. I don't know why that is. I don't know why, but I don't see Kirk Cousins ever getting over the hump for the Vikings. I could be wrong, but he's proved me right, almost every year. Great statistical quarterback. If you want statistics, he's going to do that for you. But can he get you to the big game? And I just think it's probably not going to happen. But if it does, I'd be more than happy for him, because he's just a great ambassador for the NFL. And we'll keep an eye on him and see how it all plays out over the next year. But I'd have to think that this is it for him too. If he can't make big, giant strides with the Vikings might be looking for a quarterback also here in the near future. Number 11 kind of surprises me again. Daniel Jones from the New York Football Giants. I'm saying Daniel Jones is on the phone every day right now talking to Saquon Barkley, saying, Saquon, we got to find a way to get you a contract. If I'm Daniel Jones, I'm actually calling him and saying, do you want some of my money? Because Saquon Barkley makes everything easier as a quarterback. If you want tough times back in New York, you don't have Saquon Barkley back there at the single setback. That's a strong running game, makes your passing game so much better. No Saquon Barkley. I'm going to say that Daniel Jones will not be at number 11 next year. He'll be lower on this list. But once again, if I'm Daniel Jones, I'm on the phone and I'm calling Saquon saying, what do you need from me? Because you want him back there. He's a threat. Anytime to touch the ball, to take it all the way. Okay, number 10. Now, this is another interesting one at number 10. Matthew Stafford from the LA Rams. 2 years ago, Super Bowl champion, on top of the world. Last year, neck injury, out for most of the year. You had Baker Mayfield in at quarterback. But he kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought maybe he might call it a career with the injury that he had, but he wants to play. He's back, and he wants to lead the Rams. And you got to look at the Rams. Once again, you got Cooper Kupp. Hopefully he returns back from injury, plays well. The Rams have a great coach. That's huge. Great coaching is huge in the NFL. So we'll see if the Rams can bounce back to their ways of 2 years ago, or if they'll just stay in neutral like they did last year. But hopefully Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, because you definitely know he has the arm talent to play in this league. All right, so now we're going to go to number 9. Number 9, which I'm not sure how he has him at number 9, because he did not show me anything last year to be number 9, is Deshaun Watson of the Browns. Not only is, we all know about his legal troubles that he's battled against, but I just was not impressed with his game last year playing for the Browns. I thought he'd come back and be somewhat successful, but I just did not see much out of him. So this is a huge year for Deshaun Watson. If he can bounce back to his ways of his early Houston Texans career, when he was, almost had the Chiefs beat in Arrowhead and one of the biggest threats in the game. Can he move up on this list? Certainly, but he needs to show something. You can't be living on, your past, and especially now with all this stuff that he's went through. He needs to put something on the board and show the fans of Cleveland and show the NFL that, he can be one of the great quarterbacks in the NFL. But we'll see. Sometimes sitting out a long period of time, it's hard to make a return. All right. So now we're going to move up to number 8. Number 8 is the quarterback that everybody's watching in New York this year. New York Jets quarterback. Not since Joe Willie Namath have they had a quarterback to the likings of Aaron Rodgers. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers this year in your program. So don't be looking for number 12, because Joe Willie's not coming back anytime soon. You got number 8, Aaron Rodgers. I think by the end of the year, he'll be higher than number 8. I think he'll be up on that list. I think you got Garrett Wilson. You've got his people that he's brought back, the Randall Cobbs of the world from Green Bay. And the thing about Aaron Rodgers is there's something I've seen in him this off-season workouts. He's happy. Like, it just seemed like the last 2-3 years in Green Bay, he was miserable all the time. And I'm just not sure that if you're miserable, that you're putting everything in. Like, he'll tell you he put everything into the game, which I know he did. But when you're enjoying it and putting everything into the game, I just think that's a whole different ball game. And I think right now he's enjoying New York, and it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out for the Jets. If so, you might see the Jets, come out of the AFC as that team representing in the Super Bowl, because I still think Aaron Rodgers has what it takes to lead a team to the Super Bowl. It's just a matter of can they, will they, and injuries. If there's injuries, everything's out the window. Number 7, we got Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. For me, Jalen Hurts is definitely top 5 quarterback in this league. He's shown me everything over the last couple of years that he needs to show. He can throw the ball. He can run the offense. He can run the ball. He's a leader. He almost single-handedly, or not single-handedly, but he probably was the MVP of the Super Bowl last year. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in every facet of that game last year, other than on the final score, which congratulations to Patrick Mahomes. You play to win the game, and that's what he did. But Jalen Hurts, I think, is a force to be reckoned with, and I think he'll be on a mission this year. So number 6, we got Trevor Lawrence. That, for me, I disagree with. I think Jalen Hurts is ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Do I think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback? I think he's going to be really, really good. He just got to keep on to progress. But he showed at the end of the year that he's a top echelon quarterback, by all means a top 10 quarterback. And I think that he'll continue to improve this year, and he'll make Jacksonville a team to contend with, because he's just got that. He's got that about him, that it. He reminds me a little bit, that it factor, like Joe Burrow, but he's got that it, and we'll see if it'll continue to play on. Number 5, we've got Lamar Jackson, number 5, signed a big contract in the offseason, wasn't coming back to the Ravens. Now he's back to the Ravens. He's got OBJ to throw to. His key, stay healthy, Lamar, stay healthy. You can't, if you're hurt, you can't do anything for your team when you're hurt. He's got to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, Lamar Jackson will be an MVP candidate. Lamar Jackson will lead his team to, potentially a division title. He's that good, but he's got to stay healthy, because if he doesn't stay healthy, none of that will happen. Number 4, Justin Herbert of the Chargers. All the arm talent in the world. It's just a matter, will he charge her? I mean, it just seems like the Chargers have all the talent, but they threw that game away against Jacksonville. It's how they bounce back from that. Are they going to still be in the low from that game, or are they going to come back with a chip on their shoulder? Because Justin Herbert can throw the ball. He's, one of the top 3 arms in the game. So we'll see how it all plays out there. Number 3, Josh Allen. What can you say about Josh Allen? I mean, he's a football player. Josh, stay healthy. You need to start protecting yourself. If you're wanting to play, 20 years in this league, 17, 20 years in this league, you've got to start, when you're running, you've got to start getting down a little bit. I know you're a football player, but those injuries are going to start taking their toll. And when you start losing your phenomenal arm strength by taking hits, and your running game by taking hits, just, you can still be a football player, take off, but not, don't every play it. Pick and choose your battles, Josh. And I think Buffalo Bills will be successful. And what happens with Diggs, can they keep him happy? It just seems like he's that close to, maybe he's going to explode. Maybe he'll, keep him under wraps, and he'll be a good soldier to the team. But he scares me a little bit, because I just don't know what's going to happen. And then at number 2, Joe Burrow, Joe Ice, the man, Joe Shiesty. He's number 2. He's proved it over and over again. I look for big things out of Joe Burrow. He's got the it. He is Joe, the it factor Burrow. And I look forward to Joe to have a big year. And then at number 1, we got from the Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champion, number 15, Patrick Mahomes. And of course, it's Patrick Mahomes till someone dethrones him. I mean, he runs, he passes, he does things you've never seen on a football field before. The only thing I would say to Patrick is, maybe the same with Josh Allen, you don't want to take any crazy hits by trying to do something crazy, but Patrick Mahomes is number 1, and he's a solid number 1. So, all right, with that, we went through our top 40 quarterbacks from Chris Sims. What we'll do now is this is the wide world of Raff. We'll throw it to break. We'll come back, and I will do Raff's top 10, and then we will be done with another show of the Wide World of Raff. So we're throwing it to break. This is I almost said it again. This is the Wide World of Raff, 93.7 The Ticket. All right, everybody, we are back again. This is the Wide World of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey, thanks so much for listening to me tonight. I appreciate it. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m., we'll be here. We'll be talking about anything. You know, I've got some people lined up. It's going to be some phenomenal shows coming up. Keep on tuning in. We'll also do like some of these here, just talking NFL, talking college football, just having a good time for an hour. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope it makes your drive go faster. Hope it makes your night go faster. I certainly enjoy every minute that I get to speak to all you guys out there. So we'll look at my Raff 10, the worldwide Raff top 10 NFL quarterbacks. At number 10, I have got Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys. Number 10. He's number 13 in Chris Sims's poll, but I think Dak Prescott's top 10 quarterback. I want him to be a little bit more. I think he has it in him to be more. I think he's got all the tools, but Dak Prescott at number 10. At number 9, surprising myself a little bit here, but I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I don't know if I'm looking at it from a winning standpoint, but from a statistical standpoint, you know he's going to be consistent. He's going to throw 35 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions, 4,000 yards. And that right there, that's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He might not get to the Super Bowl. I get that. But I just think that right now he is number 9. He was number 12 in Chris Sims's, but number 9. Number 8 from Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. We talked about it earlier. He's got that Joe Burrow it factor about him. I think everything goes up from here for Trevor Lawrence. I think that he found his quarterback confidence last year at the end of the year, and I look for big things from Trevor Lawrence. Number 7, he's dropped a little bit for me, Justin Herbert. All the arm strength in the world, great intangibles, but those wins, you've got to win those playoff games. They had it. And that's a Justin Herbert. You're the quarterback of the team. You had to have found a way to stop that bleeding. It wasn't found. You had lost the game. So I got him at number 7. He was number 4 in Chris Sims's, but I have him at number 7. At number 6, I've got Lamar Jackson at number 6. Lamar Jackson at 6. He's 5 in Chris Sims's. Easy for Lamar Jackson. You stay healthy, you move up. As easy as that. You stay healthy, you move up the Raff list. But you got to stay healthy, Lamar. That is the key. That is the key. And I think that's why the Ravens were at first a little hesitant about signing you to that contract, was they're just not sure of your longevity. The way you play, it's a lot like Josh Allen. You got to pick and choose. Pick and choose. Throw the ball. You can do it. You know you can. You got your threat. You got OBJ there. Throw the ball. But, pick and choose your battles. You can run the ball. It can be done, but it just can't be your first option all the time. All right, number 5. He had him at number 7. I got Jalen Hurts at 5. Solid number 5 for me. I just think the way he played last year was pretty incredible. The strides he made, like everything people told him, like, you got to work on this, you got to work on that, you got to work on that. And he did, and he succeeded, and he almost got that Super Bowl title. Great locker room character, just great leader. I look for him to rise up on this list, but I got Jalen Hurts at 5. Number 4, I got Aaron Rodgers at 4. He had him at number 8. Here's the thing with Aaron Rodgers. He was not happy at Green Bay. And I know that he's going to say, like we said earlier, that he was playing as hard as he could for the franchise, which I'm sure he was, but he didn't have that glint in his eye like he does for the Jets. I just think that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a huge year for the Jets. If it doesn't, I'll be very surprised, and the Packers will be smiling. But I think number 4 for Aaron Rodgers is pretty much, that's right where he needs to be, but number 4 for Rodgers. All right, so now we're going to move up to the top 3. Number 3, I got Josh Allen at number 3. Chris Sims had him at number 3 also. I totally agree with Josh Allen being at 3, great player, great football player, great quarterback. But like we've been keeping on saying, you got to pick and choose your battles, Josh. These high jumping guys and putting your shoulder down on, eventually it's going to take its toll. I know you're a big man, but those linebackers, they hit hard, and those safeties hit hard, and they're coming for you. And one of these times you're going to hurdle and they're going to catch you. And it's not going to be fun. I mean, you put up some great highlights, and we love the way you play the game. But now is where you got to consider, do I want to play 12, 13 years in the league, or do I play 17 to 20 years in the league? And this is one of those years, I think, where you have to make that decision to maybe, throw an incomplete pass from time to time. I know you want to make every play amazing, but sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles, my friends. So we'll see how that works out for you, Josh. So good luck this year. Number 2, and he was Chris Sims' number 2 also. You got Joe Burrow. I would agree totally at number 2. Joe Burrow's that guy. He's got the it factor. He plays hard. But one of the things that I do look at with Cincinnati is you've got to cut down on the sacks also. Joe Burrow, I don't think, puts himself in harm's way as much as the Patrick Mahomes and the Josh Allens of the world, but his offensive line puts him in harm's way an awful lot. You can't have a 50 or 60 sack season with this quarterback. He's tough as nails. I mean, he's got that. Do I dare say Nebraska tough in him? Maybe we had the Burrow, some of the Burrow boys, but he's strong and he can take those hits, but he shouldn't have to take those hits. And it takes its toll on anybody. It's just human nature. It takes its toll on people. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think the Bengals will be markedly better on the offensive line this year. And I think Joe Burrow will have a very successful year. And I think that he'll be one of those teams that probably be leading out of the AFC to make Super Bowl runs. So Joe Burrow, number 2. And at number 1, we got number 15 from the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. There's nothing you can really say about him. He's a freak. I mean, he can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball behind his back. He can throw it without looking. He has a lot of intangibles. And, I mean, he's remarkable. That's all you can say about him. He's that good. Now the question is will the AFC and the rest of the NFL catch up with him? Chiefs, with any team, injuries hurt a team. If they stay healthy, they'll be right there. If they have some injuries, it's a team sport at the end of the day. We love talking quarterbacks, but it's about the team. So we'll see with Patrick Mahomes. I think that if he plays his game this year, he'll probably be right, number 1, number 2 next year. I would maybe if Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl next year, maybe move Joe Burrow up to number 1. But I would take an awful lot to knock Patrick Mahomes out of the number 1 slot just after one season. But that's where I'm sitting right there. Those are my rankings, which very similar to Chris Sims's rankings. But we'll see what happens. That's why they play the game. You can talk about it in the offseason like we do. We have a good time doing it, but you don't know until they play the games. So I'm looking forward to the 23-24 NFL campaign. So, all right, everybody. This wraps up another show of the Wide World of Raff on the ticket 93.7. We will be back again next Wednesday from 6 to 7. Have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night, everyone.